Hello, you delicious people. Welcome back to Intimate Conversations Live. So Chris and I have known each other. We decided maybe it was like almost 8 years ago, the last time we connected. We're putting all the pieces together. So it's really great to have him back and to reconnect and to do so with all of you, sharing so much about his expertise. So let me read his bio and then let us get away to the races here. You can also find out more on YouTube, his YouTube channel, Chris Gibson, huge, and also like chrisgibsonlive.com. He is a sought after skincare expert and holistic health coach, esthetician. He's also the best-selling author of the acclaimed book, Acne Free in 3 Days, 1 million copies plus sold. He has a very successful YouTube channel, as I was mentioning before, Chris Gibson Live. The YouTube channel has 110,000 subscribers, amazing. And he's really dedicated to providing expert information and product reviews on skincare and wellness topics for both skin issues and anti-aging. It's my birthday on Saturday, so we got to definitely like 52's the new 32 or something. I don't know, but we'll get there in a second.
Birthdays, who counts those anymore?
That's right. His social media reach is well over 200,000, increasing every day. And he's recently featured in USA Today on the topic 7 freaky chemicals in your skincare products and how to avoid them. And he's been popularly featured on CBS, ABC Family, Fox News, The Daily Buzz, and numerous lifestyle television and radio shows across the country and in Canada, my homeland. And he is available for your world, TV, podcast, radio programs, whatever. He just loves to do what he does. And we're going to talk today about anti-aging products and a lot of other good stuff. So first, it's just really cool in life as you're sitting there going through my day and all of a sudden, Chris Gibson, I know that name.
Know that name.
I know that name. So what would you say since the last time we talked, which is maybe 8 years ago, what's been most meaningful, love, about your life?
I think some people will probably call it a midlife crisis. I don't think it was a crisis. I think it is that you're never done.
Yeah.
You know, you have these ideas of where you want to be successful, and then you achieve whatever varying degree of that. And of course, with the book and all that stuff, up until the time we met in 11, I think is when we actually met the first time.
Yeah.
You know, you think, okay, what's next? And then, you know, life happens, recessions happen, family stuff happens. And stuff always seems to happen to people at once. Some people call it the dark night of the soul. I wouldn't say it was like that, but it was kind of just a lot of change. And I took a break.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. I'd already done 4 years of television appearances, and the book had sold a whole lot. I had a skincare line I formulated back then. I've formulated another one, believe it or not. So I wasn't sure. I was in Pennsylvania. It was cold. It was snowy, and I'd been there for 15 years. And while I loved all that and the big house and all of that stuff, my dad says this is very natural, at least in our family, that everybody, when they hit I was in my 40s then, they've had all that stuff and they don't want it anymore. So I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want the big house and the responsibility, and I wanted to just chill out for a little bit. Because when the book became successful, that was not planned. That sort of just, it happened. Like sometimes those things do. So I had not really even caught my breath in 8 years. So got rid of everything, sold stuff, and my mom had passed away, and I moved to Florida, literally was house sitting. That's what I was doing. And then found a small place on the beach. And I was there for 7 years. I'm in St. Pete, Florida now, downtown, but it's still beautiful with water on both sides and everything. But I lived literally on the beach for 7 years, with all of the wonderful things that go along with it and all the not so wonderful things that people don't think about, like when there are storms or when it's spring break or, you know, because there are periods of, so everything has its pluses and minuses. But I got back into my fitness and back into my head and kind of got just grounded. And didn't really do, I did book client stuff for people. I know nobody's really interested in that part, interested in skincare, but I was still doing skincare, you know, obviously for myself and on a consultants type basis.
Yeah.
And then in 18, I decided, for whatever reason, I woke up one day and I went, I think I want to do YouTube. I don't really want to write another book yet. I really don't want to do television and travel all over
Yeah.
right now. And I'll give this a shot. I
Yeah.
had set that channel up in 2010 and never
Yeah.
done anything with it. My TV clips were on there and that was it.
Yeah.
So I did a little video on sunscreen and the chemicals in it, because there had been a whole lot of stuff come out in 18 about the coral reefs, and that's when the countries were starting to say, hey, we don't want this stuff in our water, like
Yep.
Australia and Hawaii and
Yep.
here
Yep.
in Florida, Key West. So I did a little video and it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, the information is good, the content is good, because it's no different than when I was on television. But because I
Yep.
had been on television, it's very dry and very straightforward, and I'm not really funny. And the lighting is terrible. I had 3 IKEA lights that I used and my phone camera, and I had to learn how to edit I shot the video, and it took me 2 weeks to figure out how to edit it and get it up there. And for whatever reason, the video did well. So I was like, all right, that's great. So I focused on acne in 2018, and the channel grew a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started branching out. I did cooking shows on there. I did, which are still there, all those stuff's popular. And of course, I had my TV clips that were there. So the channel kind of grew. And I sort of let people ask me questions that sort of guided me onto what kind of content to do.
Yeah.
But it was this time last year, I finally hit 10,000 subscribers, which is really good for a brand new channel on YouTube. I don't know what people know about YouTube, but it's hard.
Yeah.
YouTube is really hard.
I have
It's
like
really
25,000. I am so impressed with you.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So I started talking about anti-aging, and I mentioned how old I was in a video.
How old are you, Chris?
I'll be 58 in March.
58. Thank you.
So I had never talked about my age. So it was anything I focused on, because I was talking about acne and how to solve skincare issues holistically, which is what I'm known for.
Yeah.
And people didn't believe me. So it became a controversial thing. And people were sharing the video out going, do you believe this guy is how old he says he is? We need to see driver's licenses and passports and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, so I just stuck with it. And the channel really, really blew up as I started to help people that were in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s deal still with skin conditions, but on how to basically reverse some of the sun damage. I really pulled out the esthetician skills and kind of it's almost very dermatological like. So I do a lot of reviews on skincare ingredients, devices, how they work, what's good for you, what's not good for you. There's a real need for that. And then a weird thing happened on YouTube, in that while there are a lot of people talking skincare, on the skincare side, for the guys, they're usually younger, in their 20s, and their audiences tend to be young, which is great, because I think anybody gets young people to listen to protecting and take care of their skin is awesome.
Yeah.
But here I'm a guy talking about this, and in the over 50 crowd, it's all ladies who mix some of the stuff that I do. It's very consumer driven. They try stuff out, and then they have, fashion and makeup and all that stuff extended. So I'm the guy that's in his late 50s, approaching 60, talking about anti-aging. So it just blew up. So now I since they sent that out to you, I'm at 120,000 now, or I'm almost there, like 119.5. So
That's
it's really
awesome.
good. Yeah, I'm getting like about 5,000 people a month.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy, but it's really good because, I love this stuff. I formulated a new skincare line it's very small and it's like a private line right now. Hopefully we'll do something bigger with it in the future, but it does acne, but it also does anti-aging. So a lot of people are looking at me for that kind of information. So the channel's, I guess, credo is skincare that will not empty your wallet, not do you more harm than good, and help you out. So, it's
and good for the planet.
Good for the planet. So I really big into that. So of course brands are after me to review their stuff. It's crazy. I don't typically do sponsored videos, so I don't get paid to do them, because I don't want to take away from the fairness factor,
Yeah, and the integrity of it.
credibility,
Yeah.
integrity of it.
Yeah.
If I do a sponsored video, I will say if it's a brand like or a product that I reviewed, they may come back and we'll do something sponsored. But I've really tried to kind of keep it trustworthy. So I don't have the biggest channel in the world. There are several that have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, although I hope to get there.
Sure.
But the channel that I do have, the subscribers are awesome. They help each other out in the questions because I can't get to them.
Yeah.
And on the blog, same thing. Don't have too many bullies. There's the random troll, internet troll that I just get rid of them. My channels, I don't even bother with that. I just delete them and block them from the channel. So it keeps things very clean for people to ask questions and not feel embarrassed. I mean, people ask questions on there that you would be, people would be like, wow, they asked you that. So,
well, I have to ask,
your body's your body.
What did they ask? That's
well, like issues in certain areas with skin problems, and of course I direct people to dermatologists when it's appropriate. But people feel comfortable in just talking about stuff, and their name is on there, So it's kind of nice. I mean, it's not stressful like television was. Television was stressful. Although I enjoyed it, I loved the ability to help people and have that kind of reach, but it was very, very stressful. Whereas YouTube is my control. I decide how many videos I do. I decide what the topics are. I don't have to be, what's the word when unfiltered. I can be pretty unfiltered on most of it. So it's kind of nice.
Wow. You know what I love, Chris, is that you just, I don't know if it's following your heart or just letting the universe guide you, but it's not like you're this highly strategic guy, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have this. You just sort of live and give, and then you have like crazy success.
I'm sure a lot of people would like me to pay more attention to the data, and I do look at that stuff, what's interesting, but I like to run polls. I like to ask the viewers, what do you want to see more of? Because it's funny when a strategist will say, because I do consult people because I want to grow the channel, will say certain things, and then I take a look at what the poll says, what my subscribers say, and it doesn't always match up. So some of the things that they would say I should think about doing are really low on my subscribers list. So subscribers, I call it our channel. It's not just it's our channel. So
that's beautiful.
So it's a lot of fun, and it's been very rewarding. To be able, it's a blessing to be able to do what you like to do,
right?
And have that kind of control. But then I was always vying for that anyway. It's why I left the corporate world 15, 20 years ago and wrote the book. Because I didn't want to do that anymore. So,
well, what would you say to? I mean, I want to get in. So, a couple things. One, I'm going to be in St. Pete's. I'm speaking at an event in May. So,
definitely.
I will.
Something.
We'll definitely connect. That's number one. Number two, following your heart, leaving the corporate world, knowing when you needed to just check out and just do nothing. These are brave acts. A lot of people are stuck in corporate jobs forever. A lot of people wouldn't trust they'd be okay and house sit on the beach for 7 years or whatever you did. Like most people wouldn't slow down, do the work. Is that just sort of like natural for you, or do you actually experience fear, then bravery, and then an action to follow your dreams?
I think it's the latter, and I think part of it is that, I always say life is like a hot stove, and there are times when you touch it and you remember. So I made runs at being an entrepreneur a few times before that. And sorry, the dog wants up here. A few times before that, and I failed at it. I wouldn't say I failed at it, but I didn't like it. So when you don't like something, you fail at it. So I left the corporate world, went back into the corporate world after a couple of years of running a landscaping company. I know it makes no sense, but I thought because I liked to do that sort of stuff, that I like to garden. My parents said, you should do what you want to do. You hear that all the time. Do what you love to do as a job. Not always a good idea. It's really not, because it takes the pleasure out of that hobby. That is a balancing thing for you. Same thing happened to me. Then the next thing was, well, I love to cook because I had cooking recipe episodes, which I get the subscribers want me to bring that stuff back. So I'll be doing more of that in the kitchen. But everybody's like, "Oh, you should open a restaurant." I'm like, no,
no, that's not.
No way.
Uh-huh.
No way. So to be able to do this, yeah, I think I learned. I think what happened after the book, because that was such a big thing.
Yeah.
And with the recession being so bad in 8 and 9, and all the skincare companies shutting down, and people not having money to spend on products, and basically your business is just, it's dead. And trying for the next couple of years to really resurrect it, it occurred to me that perhaps that was done. The whole thing was done.
Yeah.
And I didn't really figure out this new piece, or this current piece, or being in the now pieces, as I call it, because I was so concentrated on what could we have done differently. What would I do? Do I want to run a skincare company? Do I want to do all of that stuff? And I didn't even like the skincare company part of it. So I think the clarity came, and I think it takes people different amounts of time. For me, it took 4 years really, for me to figure it out. And, I'm like, I know now, like burn stove thing. I know when I see something that's an opportunity that I know I won't like, even though it might move things along much more quickly. I said when I started the videos for YouTube to my ex-business partner, who had been through the same stuff I had, and he's doing really well, by the way, successful in a different type of venture, because you learn, right? I said, I'm going to do these videos that I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry to make. I would like to make more money, because I'm not doing the stuff I used to do, but now I don't have the expenses and that lifestyle to support anymore either. So I was like, I want to just do the videos to do them well. So what happened, I think, when the channel started to get some traction, the delivery is not the greatest on some of the earlier ones, because my personality is not as much there, but the content is good. So what happened was, as people watched the videos, they watched other videos, which is what YouTube likes. If you know anything about it, it likes people to like your stuff. And because I had this big catalog of videos, it was really helpful. So people weren't going back, and the videos weren't like terrible. So they were actually watching older videos. So 2 or 3 of my oldest videos on skincare subject went viral. I'm like, okay, that's wild. So one was on, this is funny. So one was, I thought, acne would be it. So one was on Milia, which is the little white bumps that you get under your skin. That are hard to remove. I had done a video on that. It's one of the better ones that I did in that period.
Okay, let's just stop right there. So how do you get rid of those? Just the brief answer.
Well, you're not supposed to use a needle to cut the skin right on top of it to push it out, but that's how you do it. That's what your dermatologist should do. You have to use alcohol. So in the video I talk about, I'm not supposed to tell you guys this. As an esthetician, I can't do that on you. You need to have a dermatologist do it on you, but here's how that works. And there are also some things you can use, like glycolic acid products, that will help thin that little layer of skin holding that little piece of keratin. That's all it is, a little keratin nodule under the skin, and it'll dissolve and it'll come off on its own. So that video went viral. So I'm like, great, now I'm going to be the Milia guy. That's what I'm going to be known for. And I'm talking about thousands of views a day. I was like going, this is crazy. So then that one sort of calmed down a little. And the next one that took off was how to remove moles, warts, and skin tags.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to ask that too. So how do you do that? You're not allowed to tell us, but you're going to tell us?
Yeah, there's a paste you can use of castor oil and baking soda, which is an old Edgar Cayce remedy from the 40s, if people know who that is. And it works. It just kills the virus of the wart. The wart eventually dries up and falls off. It's a little cumbersome, though. It takes some time. You got to wear a Band-Aid, got to change that stuff out. But apple cider vinegar applied 2 to 3 times a day with a Q-tip also often will remove those. So that video went crazy. So I thought, now I'm going to be known as the wart guy. So then the spring of last year, I did a video on anti-aging and skincare for the neck, and I finally had a video that really represented what I do and what I talk about take off and go viral. And that's when the channel went from, you know, it's a 10,000, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and on August 30th or 29th or 30th of last year, we crossed 100,000 subscribers.
So amazing. Wow.
Yeah, so now my audience is right. You know, it's not that the other folks are right, but you know, people come in and they get something solved, they're done with you. It's not, they're not into skincare, they're into solving that problem, which is perfectly fine, but that's not a way to build a following or a channel.
Sure.
So
Okay,
now,
so let's talk about the anti-aging and the neck. And also let's talk about so you didn't want to do a skincare line, but you're doing a skincare line. So why did you choose to do another one? You're just going to do it differently, or?
I wanted to have different priorities with that and control over it.
Got it. So you're just doing it.
Yeah, I don't want to be involved in the day-to-day running of a skincare business, but I have no problem formulating and being the signature on that. So it's like I developed the products with a lab, and we're developing more and more, and they really are good. But it's not by Chris Gibson. Like the other one was Janali by Chris Gibson, and I was just like, okay. So I didn't want to do that this way. I wanted the brand to build on its own merits, and of course they're on the website. I am on there and I talk about it, but the brand is very much its own. It's its own personality, its own thing. It's very small. I don't push it even on the channel. People that know about it, they order this. It's sort of a word of mouth thing, sort of how Paula's Choice got started. It's sort of just word of mouth. We don't do any advertising online, believe it or not. I do no ads. Nice. So yeah, it's been good. And then we get feedback on the products and how they work and if people like them. So I'm happy with that. Again,
is it what you've done to not look 58 that you've created?
Well, yeah, part of the product side is knowing what type of ingredients and products really do help with anti-aging. Things like vitamin C serum, things like hyaluronic acid, things like retinol, which we don't have yet. We're going to be adding a retinaldehyde product. How to exfoliate, and sunscreen. So I talk on the channel a lot about specific things to do, specific things I've done, and the way I explain the reason that I don't look my age and I haven't had to have plastic surgery is that I learned early about sunscreen. I learned early about how to take care of my skin because of such severe acne that I had. I learned about too much sugar and the damage that it causes to your skin. So, and staying in shape, staying active. So I've had a lifetime of that, living it. So I've kind of walked the talk. So that's sort of, I think, why the channel does so well with the folks that it does, is that I'm not selling you plastic surgery, although I don't discount that. If there are people who need it, if you're unhappy with how you look and it hurts your heart and you have tried all these other things and they didn't work for you, then a lift is probably going to be a winner for you. You're probably going to feel so much better about yourself, because that's what matters. It doesn't really matter what other people think. It's what you think when you look in the mirror. So I kind of take that track with everything. But there's a lot you can do before you have to do in-office procedures. We have so much technology coming out now with the red light therapy and radio frequency therapies that work below the skin surface at the level where you produce collagen, which means you don't even have to put a lotion on when you're building your skin back up from the inside out. So that's just going to continue to evolve. In fact, this year I did a video on trends for 2022 in skincare, and I talked about that it is my opinion and prediction that light devices and skincare routine devices, technology will become the core part of a skincare routine, with the topicals being the secondary, where it's kind of flipped right now. You know, bright side, every kind of cream on their skin to make a big difference. And, you know, and preaching patience, because skincare is so much, especially in the anti-aging part of it, is so much like weight loss. You have to be very consistent with a product for a very long time before you see results, because skin doesn't change quickly. Even when you get a facelift, it doesn't change the texture of your skin. The surface of your skin is the same. So you still have to deal with that. So it may tighten things up, which is great, but it's not going to change the larger look or that dry kind of dull look. So I really focus on the types of products and steps that can help with that. So I talk about skincare in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and on. I talk about, thin skin, thinning skin, sagging, dark spots, hyperpigmentation, but last we cover it all.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, so what is your skincare regime like right now? And the light therapy, what do you do for the light therapy stuff too?
It's interesting because one of the things that came up in the poll that's ongoing right now is everybody wants me to do more on screen skincare routines. And while skincare routines should not vary a whole lot, I test a lot of things. So I always have to remind people this is going to look different than when I do. But what I tell people, this is what my basic is that everybody should look at doing starting at 35.
Okay.
Well, sunscreen sooner. Sunscreen as soon as you're on the earth. But anyway, we'll talk about that separately. So first is having the right cleanser so that the pH of your skin is maintained in the correct range, which means if you have oily skin, you want to use a clarifying foaming cleanser that's going to take off oil, enough of it, but leave some moisture behind so that your skin is not dry and tight. For any skin type, your skin should never feel dry and tight after you cleanse it. For normal, dry, sensitive skin types, the creamier type of cleansers made for sensitive skin are fine. They remove just enough oil, dirt, bacteria, but they leave a lot of hydration behind.
Yeah.
So many brands, Aveeno, Neutrogena, all the drugstore brands, they have a version of all of those. So that's the first step, making sure your skin is cleansed correctly.
Yeah.
And both in the morning and in the evening, especially in the evening. If you're going to skip a morning, and you can do that if you have dry skin, you can just do a steaming and then just go about your day with your other products. But for most people, that's going to work unless you have oily skin. Then you're going to have to wash it. But the evening cleansing routine needs to happen. Makeup needs to come off, any kind of cosmetics.
Yeah.
Come off. Oil, dirt, you've got a day's worth of stuff in the air touching your skin. So that cleansing step is really important. And then for daytime, vitamin C serum is really important. There's two kinds of vitamin C serum. We got to make this hard. There's L-ascorbic acid, which tend to be the more expensive vitamin C serums because they are the acid. They're very potent. They also break down and degrade and bad if you don't use them in a certain amount of time. So they always come in the dark bottles.
Okay.
You need like 15% or higher to get a really good result. But there's also sodium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a milder, stable form of vitamin C serum that if you have sensitive skin, you should use. But a vitamin C serum should be in use. And then, of course, peptides. I use the Inky List collagen booster, but peptides are not collagen. Peptides help your body preserve and form collagen. They're amino acids. So there's a lot of confusion out there about, oh, well, I heard if you put collagen on your skin, it's too big a molecule, it won't absorb. That's true. But peptides are not collagen. They are the building blocks of collagen. So that, and then a good daily hydration cream of some type, moisturizer with hyaluronic acid and glycerin based is really good, even if you have oily skin, because if you don't hydrate your skin will produce the oil to do it for you. So very important. If you have this or dry, thickened skin or some photo aging, a glycolic acid serum during the morning routine is also very good to apply. About 14%. Those are millions of variety of those out there. That helps speed up the cellular turnover and get that old dead skin layer off, flake off microscopically, but it will help. And then, of course, exfoliation is important. 2 to 3 times a week using some sort of exfoliation sponge or device. Don't really like scrubs unless they are plant-based. And then what I mean by that is not those broken up shells like peach pits or walnuts or any of that kind of stuff, because that can tear your skin. But there are scrubs out there made with sugar, made with bamboo. That's good for your skin. Or a goshi towel, which is a special exfoliation towel that you use in the shower or the tub that helps. And then at night, a retinol cream, peptides again, and then for normal skin types, more hyaluronic acid moisturizer. If you have really dry skin, or it's winter where you are, a product like CeraVe with the ceramides, moisturizing cream with a lot of ceramides to help build that lipid layer is very important. So that's the basics. So
wow,
that's
a
basically
lot for the basics.
it's a lot, but it sounds like a lot, but it's really just a few steps each time. Red light therapies, I'm testing them. I have a red light mask that I'm very happy with.
Oh, a mask.
That's one of the cut it. Yes, it goes on your face and you turn it on for 3 minutes and it's red light. The red light therapy helps kind of manipulate and energize the mitochondria around your cells and helps you produce more collagen over time. Again, these are things that are going to take months to see. You're not going to see something in a week. I also have been testing microcurrent, RF therapy, which is radio frequency therapy. Again, the idea with the RF therapy, ultrasound therapies, and red light therapies is you're warming that layer of collagen deeper down below the surface of the skin. So this is not doing anything to the surface, it's below.
Yeah.
And by stimulating collagen, studies have shown, human studies, that the biopsies have shown that it actually does over 2, 4, 6 months and onward thicken up the actual collagen layer of your skin. So if you have thinning skin or you have a lot of sagging, these devices can be helpful to a degree. And if you get a lift, they can help keep that skin looking really, really good after you've spent the money on the surgery. So a lot going on the technology side when it comes to skincare. And there are the microcurrents stimulate the muscles without stretching the skin.
Yeah.
And just a whole lot of stuff going on, not to mention the in-office treatments like laser therapies that can be very helpful for hyperpigmentation and age spots. And then microneedling, of course. You know, we had derma rolling. I just did a video this week on that. That's been very, very popular about, does that work? Does it help? As I said, I think these skincare technologies are going to become more of the core of a skincare routine, with the topicals being the secondary thing that you do.
Wow. That's really cool. I've done the red light when it's this thing on the wall, just looking at you, but I never knew there was like a mask. So I'm going to ask you to email me what that is, because it's my,
I will do. Yeah, I did a video.
Second birthday, and I'm just taking care of myself.
It's great. I mean, we know that certain light wavelengths of red light, LED light, which won't harm the skin or cause pigmentation issues, can help to stimulate and regrow hair. That's a thing. It really works. We know that it can help. Well, it's been in the sports industry for a long time. This light therapy, this is some of the stuff that they use to heal athletes more quickly when they had severe injuries. That's how you go, how did that guy get back out on the field in 3 months? So these therapies do work, but they're very, you got to be very consistent, and they do work. But we know that, like, there's an looks like ultraviolet light, but it's kind of purpley blue. It's not, it won't tan you, but that wavelength of light will actually reduce acne bacteria on the skin and can reduce acne for people who have severe cystic acne. It's a very effective therapy in combination with the other treatments. So it's wild, some of the stuff that you can do, and do it in the home. These therapies would cost you $500, $700 a pop. You'd have to get 3 or 4 of them. They still do have the more invasive, the stronger versions in office you can do. If you're getting some good effects at home, you might want to think about that. But you can buy a home device now and use that, and it saves you tons of money. You just, again, have to be very consistent with it.
Got it. Do you do any of these technologies and the light and the stimulation?
Oh yeah, for the last 6 months, I have been using the mask and the product called the Lumo, which combines radio frequency, red light alternated with photon and microcurrent, all in the same device.
Wow.
And I have not done the review on it, but people on the channel have mentioned they're noticing that I'm looking really good. What I notice is the firmness in the face. The skin is very firm. It's as firm as when I was in my, I mean, it's, I don't have any of that stuff anyway, but it really has really firmness wise is what I'm noticing now. I'm 6 months into it, which is about the time the results begin to show. Sorry, let's kick the thing. When the results begin to show up, the most is from now forward, because it takes a long time for that collagen to build
Yeah.
where it becomes visible. So,
And so this one that has like all the things all together, is it just for your face? Or
you
is
know,
it
you
like a
can use
whole
it on
body
your
thing?
neck, you can use them on the back of your hands, your arms, you can
Mm.
use it anywhere. So I'll be doing a review on that. It's Even Skin makes it, is the name of the company. That's the one that you see, the Venus, the one for the eyes, the little red light therapy massager thing for that. It's got a red light in it. So I just mentioned that in a video. It works too, or a hooded eye or loose eyelid skin. It helps tighten that up without surgery. So yeah, a lot you can do.
This is awesome. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good for 52, but I'm like, okay, it's time for me to do all these extra little things and really enjoy the process of taking care of ourselves. Like, let it be a time when you contemplate, slow down, kind of like at the beginning of the interview where you took some time and you took a while to listen and hear your truth, and then you take action. So if we can combine loving ourselves properly and in ways that really work that you're recommending, and we use this downtime not to go damn flab or stupid Mark or whatever, but to go,
Right.
hi, sweet thing, how's your heart, how's your soul, you know, who are you hanging out with that loves and nurtures you? Like, make it this holistic,
Yeah,
yummy
it should be a
experience.
part of self-care.
Yeah.
I've always said skincare has stuck with me for so long because when I figured out the acne thing and I saw the power of taking responsibility for your health, I think you and I talked about this years ago.
Yeah.
Was really the box I was on, was that people have to take responsibility, you know, for the helping a parent go through the transition process in life. You see which medical professional on your side and which ones are not. You learn to ask questions. Sometimes change doctors, and you always carry, and I say this, you know, not everybody agrees, you always carry the answers to whatever you've got going on. So sometimes medical therapies fit into that. I've seen enough to know. I've seen people not take medical therapies for cancer. I'm not going to say which way is right or wrong, but I've seen people make those choices and be fine.
Yeah.
Do the mental work.
Yeah.
Do the, I mean, Louise Hay is famous for that stuff.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of power, but it's also what you just said. Sometimes if you're doing that with your self-care, then a device or a method fits into that. It's more powerful for you because it's being applied in that way. You're not in a scramble to fix something, which we all know that causes resistance and a lot of stress, which creates more inflammation in the body, which usually makes whatever problem you've got worse. So
yeah, I agree. Aligning all of the mind, body, spirit going forward. I love this. Okay, people, this is the amazing Chris that I'm so glad we're back, like circling around in each other's life again.
Sure.
Chris Gibson live. So you can see all of these different videos. It sounds like a beautiful community that's safe and honoring for you to ask any of those kind of wobbly questions. You know, it's always safe around here to ask all the questions around intimacy, and not just sexual intimacy, but the places where we feel ashamed or guilty or don't know quite how to forgive ourselves. It's always a safe place for us to talk about this. So stay on before when I press stop, but I want you to know that he's on Facebook and Instagram, and obviously the YouTube channel is huge. And what's the name of the skincare line if they want to find that?
Clear Revolution Skincare.
Clear Revolution Skincare. Okay, very good. And it's got the anti-aging and the acne.
Yes.
So for mom,
it sells out. It sells out a lot. Don't be, if you go and look at it and they're out of a lot of stuff, it's like that. But I think that the plan is by the middle of February, things should be like restocked, because, you know, we've still got the supply issues with the pandemic. So things take forever to get in. Yeah. But we do expect them in 2 weeks. So
beautiful. Well, I'm really happy for you. I'm really inspired of your journey, and that we got under how you made those decisions, and that you just seem to be really in the flow of in your happy place, helping people, doing what you love. And that's really sort of underneath this whole interview, to inspire people when they slow down and take that time to be intimate with themselves. And really, as you said, like, you know the answers, or at least you know who to ask. You know, we're guided.
It just really becomes clear. I don't know how else not a voice necessarily speaking to you, is more like an impulse, but
Yeah,
you
and
can't
knowing.
even hear that until you stop. You have to
Correct.
just stop and
Yeah.
take a minute or years.
Or 4 years. Yeah, whichever comes
Or
first.
4 years.
Yeah, good. Well, I look forward to reconnecting in May when I'm in your neck of the woods, and I'm gonna head
It'll
off
be
to.
beautiful here then.
Yeah, good.
Weather's good here in May.
Oh, I love it. Good, good. Yeah, and I'm just gonna ask you a couple little questions before we go away, because I'm heading off to India for a year. I'll be back twice, 2 or 3 times for my leading retreats and speaking at retreats, but it's going to be my new home for a year.
Wow.
And I'm working on my app and just focusing on that. And so it's going to be very much a year of self-care and listening. So I feel like this is perfect timing for us to reconnect.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
It's always perfect timing.
Oh, it's perfect timing. Yeah. So I'm sure this interview, as all of these, sparks some actions. Definitely go to his YouTube channel and his skincare product. But I bet you it would also spark some inner questions. So take 5 minutes after this interview, go for a walk in nature or get your journal out and just let your knowing speak and reflect and feel, and then take an action. Because if this interview is able to shift your life with even just one action that's different, the rest of the trajectory of your life has changed. And so let us love you that way, support you that way, and care for you that way. So until next time on Intimate Conversations, we love you. Mwah.